Just as the car's fuel indicator gave a warning of low fuel, nature too is giving us warnings of depletion of natural resources. Can you think of some warnings that the environment is giving us? Changes in global climatic conditions and increasing frequency of natural disasters are nature's warnings against overexploitation of natural resources by humans. Calamities such as floods, famines, tsunamis, and melting glaciers are increasing. Nature maintains a delicate balance to sustain all life forms on Earth. Overexploitation of natural resources by human beings disturbs this balance. Overexploitation and mismanagement by humans are responsible for the extinction of animals. While many species are already extinct, there are many that face a very high risk of extinction in the near future. These species are called endangered species. If we humans continue at this pace, it is not far from now that our national animal, the tiger, will become a rare sight. Ecological crises can be overcome by sustainable management of natural resources. Sustainable management is aimed at meeting the needs of the present generation. At the same time, it is also aimed at preserving natural resources for the future generations. Does sustainable management mean not using natural resources at all? Not using natural resources at all is not a solution, and it is hardly possible. And the expanding field of technology uses natural resources. We all use natural resources that are available to us. We humans can thus be called stakeholders of natural resources. However, the extent of the utilization of different resources by different people varies. For example, rural people hold larger stakes in forests than the urban population. Conversely, people in cities hold larger stakes in fossil fuels than villagers. Sustainable management does not stop these stakeholders from using natural resources. It means coming up with ways of using these natural resources judiciously. Sustainable management of resources involves two principles. The first is the principle of intragenerational equity. This principle involves an equal distribution of natural resources among people of the same generation. This is an attempt to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. The second principle is the principle of intergenerational equity. This principle means taking care that the present generation does not overexploit the available resources, but making sure that these resources are available for future generations as well. Principles of sustainable development are taken care of by the modern 3R approach, that is, reduce, reuse, and recycle. This approach requires individual as well as global efforts. Can you think of how individuals can use these 3Rs to save natural resources? We can save natural resources by reducing wastage of water, electricity, and fuel. We can reuse plastic bottles, envelopes, and other things like this. We can recycle paper, glass, plastic, and metal items. Globally, organizations such as the UN make efforts to protect the environment. The UN devises protocols and enforces laws that prevent pollution and environmental hazards from being caused by nations. We cannot stop using wood. However, the cutting of trees can be compensated for if we take initiatives towards growing more trees. We can resort to methods such as organic farming that means strictly restricting the use of harmful fertilizers and pesticides that damage the soil and environment. It is estimated that the current reserves of fossil fuels are sufficient to last only for the next 100 years. The fast-depleting, non-renewable fossil fuel reserves can be conserved by finding alternative fuel reserves, such as biofuels, obtained from biomass. Such synthetically obtained fuels also reduce vehicular emissions and thus prevent pollution. Non-renewable resources can be conserved by harnessing renewable resources such as the sun, wind, and water. In Hindi, the word chipko means to stick. In the chipko movement, people literally hugged trees to protect them from being cut. The modern chipko movement started in the Garhwal region of Uttarakhand in the early 1970s. In this movement, women stopped a contractor from felling trees by clinging to them. Later in the 1980s, noted environmentalist Sundarlal Bahuguna popularized the Chipko movement by creating the famous Chipko slogan, "Ecology is permanent economy." The modern Chipko movement was inspired by the Khejarli massacre that occurred in the early 18th century in Rajasthan. It was led by Amrita Devi, who belonged to the Bishnoi community. The Bishnoi community is a popular Rajasthani tribe that is known for its eco-friendly attitude. This community considers the preservation of plants and animals as the center of their religion. Do you admire the efforts of the Bishnois? Can you think of some unified efforts to save the environment that you can take part in? These are some social initiatives that you can be a part of.